Am I late? Am I gonna get views? Well, to be honest, I don't really know. What I do know is I'm doo-doo-doo. And today we are going to watch. A lot of you have wanted me to watch this for a bit now, but the thing is, I did. Without further ado.
Last time we ended in 2015, when Goldship threw away his final ticket to the Hall of Fame. But 2015 was a profound year for the Stego clan in many ways. It was the year when Stego passed away. The horse, with a life almost like a comic story, took its final bow. While one story was closing, something new was beginning. On the other side of the track, jump racing, another great horse named Up to Date began to shine. That year, he captured the Nakayama Grand Jump in April. Riding that momentum, he charged toward the year-end pinnacle, the Nakayama Daishogai. Waiting for him was a threatening rival, Sanacion, who'd remained undefeated since switching to jump race.
Dude, Sanacion, I don't know what language it is. It's so cool. Like, it reminds me of the Bleach, like the Espada, right? The Espadas. Like, they have such cool names.
Was slightly less favored. Up to they entered with absolute conviction. Down the final stretch, the race became a fierce three-way battle among Up to Date, Sanacion, and Acorn Path. Yet in the end, the unstoppable Up to Date surged ahead, crossing the finish line by half a length. After this race, on Nakayama forums, one comment was saying, "If my memory serves me right, this is the first time a horse has won both G1 races in the same year since the JG system was established. This horse has the potential to become an unparalleled steeplechase horse." And in hindsight, that commenter was absolutely right. Up to Date had completed the rare spring and 10 no-show jump G1 title, earning the best steeplechase horse award and standing at the peak of his glory, praised by many fans across the country. But what made that comment truly prophetic was the crowd did in fact witness a special horse. 2.3 seconds after Up to Date crossed the finish line, another horse followed. A horse who, in his steeplechase debut,
here we go.
The least favorite runner, finishing dead last. 13.7 seconds behind
he almost tripped.
Utterly ordinary, unable to run at all, forgettable in every sense of the word, and that same horse would one day become Up to Date's greatest rival. The absolute pinnacle of jump racing. The final obstacle that Japanese jump race wished to overcome. Gate 1, number 1, Oju Chosan.
That is such a cool. Oh my god, maybe you are a poet. Gate 1 number. Oh my god, guys. Let our boy take a bow. Holy shit.
Chosan.
He is so good. The meaning of great.
A horse was born in Hokkaido, carrying a pedigree that quietly hinted at promise. His sire was Stego, and his mother was sired by symbolic reasons.
Damn!
He even had a full brother who'd already claimed a grade victory. Like all horses owned by the Chosan family, they follow a slightly unusual convention in naming. The family name Chosan was not put in the front, but as a suffix. His name is Oju, and that is how we will know him, Oju Chosan. As a 2-year-old, Oju debuted and was totally crushed. In November, he entered another maiden race, and once again, soundly defeated. After that, his connection redirected him to steeplechasing. Yet in his first jump race, he finished dead last, trailing the winner by a staggering 13 seconds?
Holy crap, that's a...
Couldn't win, couldn't compete, and gave no signs of greatness, and this was how the greatest steeplechase horse began. Before we continue, it's worth stepping back for a moment and talk about the topic in every sport. The GOAT. Over the years in Japanese forums, when people talk about the greatest horse in history, 3 names stood at the center of
Seattle Slew, Secretariat,
or FAF.
Oh shit, never mind.
And my personal goal, Crane Montana. Looking at them, Deep Impact.
Okay, by
need to say. The greatest horse met the greatest jockey with the greatest influence. Just that alone tells you everything. The horse that completely revolutionized the sport. Watching him race was almost unreal, because things that other horses might perform once in a lifetime, he delivered that on a daily basis. His influence was so overwhelming claiming that even today, he is still remembered by Japan as a horse from heaven. Or
Damn.
I have made a video about it, so if
He
you're
can sell it,
interested,
dude.
just check that out.
Yeah.
Because of his inconsistency, fans often say, rather than calling him the greatest one, it's more fitting to call him
only
the
one.
only one. Some of the things he did
Hey, he's one of one, by the way.
at his peak were so absurd that even today it still confuses people. And
Oh, by the way, this reminded me. I'm gonna derail you for a few seconds, and I'm gonna send you to my Twitter. By the way, if you have Twitter, go follow me because I have 69 nice followers. I saw. Okay, this is funny, right? But what I'm asking you to look at, this guy is the goat. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Here. I want his shirt. I want his shirt. Look at his shirt. Look at his shirt. Man. Tell me this is available online, please. I don't buy shirts because I don't go out, but I would buy this. This is... Oh, man. I love this guy. Anyway, back
remain to be one
to the regular programming.
Fully comprehend. And finally, Equinox, the highest rated Japanese horse and the most talked about one in recent years. His 6G1 win streak was not wins but are in motion, an embodiment of equine perfection. I remember going into the Japan Cup, other analysts trying to build suspense. You know, if this or that happened, Equinox could place second behind Liberty Island. I say that's not possible. If we're going to predict this race, he should either be the first or double digit because it was not his race at all. Saying he will get second in Japan Cup, it shouldn't happen. There is no in between. Outside of Japan, I think it's safe to say he even has a much bigger name than Deep Impact. And if your goal is any of these three, you're basic.
Yeah, because he had more success internationally than Deep Impact, right?
You're the type of person who goes to a bar, look at the menu for 15 minutes and all.
Hey, come on, man. I love Deep, man. I love Orphe. Equinox, not really. I mean, I enjoy him.
Water, no ice.
Why no ice? It's always at least one ice cube to make it,
But to be fair, they are the most popular picks. But if your picks is not any of them, chances are the champions you're thinking about are also reasonable pick. And that's the point. The very moment fans need to justify their choices.
Justify, that's another one. By the way, that horse is gonna make waves soon. Already started.
The essence of this debate itself speaks to whether there is a single undisputed grade. But some might narrow the scope and ask, what?
This is my take on GOATs, right? We go by era. We go by era because it is very, very hard to compare people, right? It's very hard to compare people because a lot of kids today, a lot of young adults today, their NBA GOAT is LeBron. My GOAT is Jordan, right? Because I'm a kid when Jordan was still playing. So, and people will like the perpetual toxicity spewing online. Who's better? Who's who's better? Blah blah. Blah blah. Could Jordan do what he did in today's rules? Can LeBron do what he did in today and rules from 30 years ago? Like a lot of times, people would have good points on each. So it's so fucking. It's one of the stickiest and ickiest discussions. But also one of the most interesting discussions you can have, and whether it's horse racing, whether it's MMA, right? Whether it's whatever sport, right? That's why for me, and this is maybe lazy for a lot of you, but I just go by era. Like in somewhat almost yesteryear's era, because LeBron's like 55 or something, right? Like he is, and before him it was LeBron. Some in between it was Kobe. Right? And then before them, it was Bird or Magic or whoever. And then Dr. J, right? In basketball terms. I don't know football, so I don't know. In terms of this, he's going to explain it, I think.
About within specific discipline. Forever Young in dirt, Lord Kanaloa in sprint, Taiki Shuttle in mile, Sakura Baksingo in long distance.
I like you so much, man. This is so funny.
They are often considered the best in their respective
True.
domain. But even
True.
then, the conversation never truly ends. And honestly,
It'll never end though, unless I was gonna say unless a sport dies or just ends and nobody plays it anymore. I was gonna say that that's only when it ends. Even then, let's say horse racing is banned tomorrow for good everywhere. You cannot breed thoroughbreds anymore. You cannot race thoroughbreds anymore. Racing is done. People would still talk about Secretariat. People would still talk about Seattle Slew, Frankel, Kayan Rising, Deep Impact, Equinox. Like it's the reminiscence that's going to make it survive, right? So it's perpetual. It's forever.
people expect someone better in the future. When we look at
Yeah.
the sport itself, horse racing has existed for 300 years, yet the evolution it has undergone in the past 5 decades far exceed anything seen in the previous 2
Yeah,
centuries.
it's true.
To believe that no future horse will surpass what we witness is almost unreasonable.
It
All
is.
the fancy compliment we gave to our champions were said 1,000 times before us, and will be said 1,000 times
After,
more.
yep.
This is why I
That's
do
true.
not feel right to call any athlete the GOAT of any sport.
That's why it's just your favorites, right? And if your favorite is very very high performing and one of the greats, I think that's the best way to look at it. Is like, let's look at it as the greats, right? Not just the one entity, because there can't be in a certain time, sure, right? In a certain era, sure, but historically, like it's unfair, right? It's unfair for the future. It's unfair to the past.
But I can tell you respectfully, when it comes to steeplechaser in Japan, people don't bother to ask who is the greatest. People don't bother having such useless conversation. They ask, just how long will we ever see a horse like this? A champion that transcends time, a legend that stands beyond the reach of debate. Also, a horse who just finished last in his first jump race. A horse whose name meant nothing to anyone at the time. A troublesome, unremarkable, forgettable horse in every possible way.
It's always these unremarkable, normal, mid characters at the beginning that ends up being the greatest, right? It's always like that. That's the story, and that's what makes things like these beautiful, man. Why did I say something so corny? And this was how
After
it
that
began.
crushing defeat, Oju was transferred to a different trainer and paired with a new jockey. His career drifting without direction. It wasn't until his third attempt he finally secured his first victory. By then, he was already near the age of 4. A month later, he managed to capture back-to-back wins at the Open class, only to collapse again with another heavy defeat. The issue for him were obvious and severe. Beyond the well-known temperament and the late maturing nature of stable,
Yep.
Oju couldn't focus in competing. His starts were consistently poor, reacting slowly, simply couldn't concentrate.
Since we're in talks of the greatest or the greats, and now he's saying about like maturity and temperament. As I record this, earlier today, the second Flightline Colt in Japan won, and he won in Flightline fashion, better than the first one, right? And I think so. I go about things like this, right? And this is coming from having a background in game file, because there is late maturing, early maturing stuff over there. And if you're not into that, and you, oh my god, Doodle, why? Let's not talk about that. But what I'm trying to say is, Flightline, Flightline is, it can be a beautiful problem for Japan, or it could be maybe he mixes well, right? Because Flightline is also late maturing, right? But he has that precociousness, he has that speed, right? He has that power. You add that gene to the already existing Japanese gene pool, where you have Stay Gold still, somewhat decently prominent, because you still have Gold Chip and Orphe, although Orphe is like this, I think, second oldest stallion in Shadai. And then you have Kira-san, like a lot of horses in Japan are somewhat late maturing. I mean, you have Epi, who produces, not that, and the others, and hopefully Equinox doesn't produce that. But adding adding flight line, I just, man, I don't
in
know, man.
racing at all. And in that same month, he met the most
They need to import more Danehill shit from Australia.
important partner of his career.
But then again,
jockey
that's how breeding
Ishigami
works.
Shinichi. At that point, Ishigami's career had already been shaped by misfortune. Years before, he was arrested after crashing into a police station.
Oh,
drunk
DUI.
driving.
Ooh,
After that,
yikes.
it was a downward spiral with a mix of scandals, serious fall during ride, disbandment of his stable. This
Oh,
series
shit.
of misfortune led to him competing steeplechasing just to sustain a career. It was, in every sense, a meeting of two broken souls. Their first race together ended in a modest 4th place finish, and after a series of unstable performance, they arrived at the race we saw at the beginning, when they were completely outclassed, finishing far behind as the crowd roared for Up to Date. At that moment, everyone believed they had witnessed the rise of an unparalleled champion, and no one, not even his own team, not even Oju himself, could have imagined what came next in 2016.
The calling. If I could,
In
then
2016, the team chose a Nakayama Open class race in March as a warm-up for the Nakayama Grand Jump. And before that race, Ishigami made what would become the most crucial decision of his entire career. He recommended removing part of Oju's headgear, and out of nowhere, Oju became a different horse. He was focusing on the race intensity.
Wait, what?
Out of nowhere, he recommended removing part of Oju's headgear, and out of nowhere, Oju
What did he remove? Because he still has a little big.
became a different horse. He was focusing on the race intensively. His start was clean and precise, fighting for position with aggression and answered to signal perfectly. It was like chance that bounded Oju for years suddenly disappeared. Could this just be a fluke? Then came the Nakayama Grand Jump. Because Up to Date was absent, the top favorite was nonetheless Senashion, the very horse who had lost only to Up to Date, and this year avenged that defeat in dominance. Senashion stormed through the Nakayama course with overwhelming confidence, entering this race at 1.3 odds.
Damn, that's high.
That aura, broke out of the field 9 lengths apart, finishing a dominant 2nd place. Wait, 2nd place? If Up to Date was absent, who could stop Senashion? It was a horse who had taken 2 full years just to debut, who embodied the late blooming brilliance of Stego lineage, who, after the long struggle, finally awakened. Faster than Senashion dominant 9
Holy, look at that! He accelerates. Ooh, I love that.
Trainer's first graded victory, Ishigami's first G1 win in 15 years as a jockey, and yet this was only the beginning.
Damn.
On June 25th, Oju returned to the Tokyo Jump Stake as the overwhelming favorite. He delivered an effortless victory, consecutive graded win. On October 16th, chaos struck. An accident ahead saw a jockey fall, throwing the race into complete chaos. The Discman was running at a crazy pace that completely dragged Oju to lose speed. Even with that, Oju refused to break, clinging to the leading group. After clearing the final jump,
they crowded up,
winning just by a length.
Wow. 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 Oh, he's fighting. Oh, he's fighting. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that. Ooh, yep. That is insane. Dude, his finishing kick is insane. What the fuck is this horse? Oh, he's back.
But this time, the unstoppable Oju won with devastating authority, breaking away instantly and crushing Up to Date
9 lengths.
4 graded win streak, a clean sweep of the spring and autumn JRA.
Wow, look at that! Yo!
People believe they had witnessed the rise of a legend. Now, the legend answered. March 2017 brought a new challenge. A course they had never raced before. It didn't matter. Oju once again defeated Up to Date with ease, extending win streak to 5.
Wow, holy crap.
The Nakayama Grand Jump. There was no suspense. Domination once again. 6 straight graded wins.
Damn.
3 consecutive JG1. Back-to-back Nakayama Grand Jump victories. By October, returning from injury, he faced a bold challenger in Tamamo Planet. Declared his challenge from the very start with a great runaway escape. The undisputed king answered that challenge without hesitation. The two clashed head-to-head till the final obstacle.
Oh, look at that. He's
Pure
running him
duel
down.
of endurance
Oh, yeah,
and
the gray
will.
is done.
And once
Yep.
again, Oju pulled away in margin way over 10 lengths. A full 2 seconds before the second place.
Wow.
7 consecutive wins. Everyone realized they were witnessing history. A horse was about to send
Holy
shockwave to the
crap.
sport in unthinkable way. And then the Nakayama Daisho guy arrived.
Endless trials. Oh no.
December 23rd,
Oh, no.
2017.
Are we-
Oju Chosan versus Up to Date. Even before the race began, he already gathered a rare sight for steeplechasing. The crowd was more than 1.5 times larger than the
Oh,
year before.
wow.
And what they were witnessing was the greatest jump race.
Oh,
a race
okay.
that inspired countless people to take interest in the sport. One
Ooh,
that go down in
he
history
cleared
as
that.
the classic among the classics.
Homeboy has
In
elevation.
2022, when JRA held a fan vote to celebrate the most iconic races of the modern age, the top spot went to the once in a lifetime, the never once seen Japan Cup featuring 3 Triple Crown champions in a single field. Just the description of that was enough to put it in the first place. But the second place was this steeplechase race,
Ooh.
a track many casual fans had never even paid attention before. That already speaks to the magnitude of what happened that day. This time, Up to Date's
Why is it
jockey
so hype?
abandoned the pride of the former king. There would be no holding back, no measure tactic. There was only one way to defeat Oju, to abandon everything for the greatest
Oh.
escape. From the very start, Up to Date launched into a desperate all or nothing runaway. 5 length, 10 length. He opened up a gap of over 15
Yeah,
lengths,
but he's-
nearly 4
he's chilling.
seconds ahead
He's
of the
chilling.
field. At that pace, under normal circumstances, the race would already be over.
Yep. Oh,
Any
he's
other
coming.
horse would
He's
have been
coming.
forced to watch helplessly as it disappeared into the distance, claiming victory uncontested. But this was
Look
not
at that.
a normal
Oh,
race.
he's running. He's
Up to Date
come
was
here.
not facing any
Come
other
here.
horses. 10 length, 5 length, 1 length, with just 30 meters left to the finish line.
Holy
As Up to Date
fuck.
burned through the very limit of his body. Oju Chosan caught up.
Oh, come here. Come here, bitch. Oh, come here. Come here. By the way, that's just don't be yeah. Oh, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh my god, they're fighting. Oh my god.
In
Just
this race,
enough.
Up to Date broke a course record.
Really?
That had stood for 26 years,
Really?
cutting a full second off the time and leaving the rest of the field 3.2
Oh
seconds
my
behind.
goodness.
An insurmountable gap under normal circumstance. But the winner was Oju Chosan.
I would assume that Up to Date is never the same after this one because that was a lot. Like he used everything.
When the race reached its end, the crowd still in disbelief. Even the commentators struggled to find words, declaring, "Before you stand a grand record that will be remembered in the history of Japanese racing." Behind them, the trailing jockeys and horses could only watch, stunned, as 2 figures, one dark, one gray,
Yep.
rewrote history before their eyes. But in the end, Up to Date.
Ooh, that
lost.
was
Was he weak? Absolutely not.
No.
He was extraordinary.
Mhm.
It's just that his opponent was Oju Chosan. 4 consecutive JG1
Holy
victories,
crap.
back-to-back spring and autumn title sweep, twice, an 8-graded winning streak, equaling the
Wait, he's only at 4 here. He has 5 more.
legendary record of TMR Pro. He became the first
That's my
steeplechase
goat.
horse on
If I can't choose Equinox or Deep Impact or Orphe, this is my goat right here.
under the modern voting system to receive votes for Horse of the Year, an achievement once thought impossible. Even the racing magazine Yushin put him second behind the brightest star, Kita-san Black. And for those
Damn.
who didn't live through that era, who only see the records on paper, it's almost impossible to tell you how dominant Oju Chosan was at his peak. Yes, there had been horses with cleaner record, horses with more polished resume, but
Yeah.
there has never been another horse who radiated such overwhelming, suffocating dominance for such a prolonged period of time. If you
I have a question here. So everything just clicked, and he started winning, and he started performing really, really well. I wonder if his owner had been a crazy idiot like me, and I'm like, yeah, maybe he's late maturing. Let's try when he's 4. Would have he been able to perform the same way in flat? I don't know. It's a question up in the air, right?
You check out
We
the
can only
fan footage
speculate.
from those years. People were not there to watch Oju win. They were there to see how he would destroy the
Holy
field.
shit!
Up-to-date was never a weak horse. Far from it. The next year in 2018, he crushed the race by a length, claws above the others. While
Damn.
Oju Chosan, dealing with physical issues, skipped his prep and went straight to the Nakayama Grand
What the
Jumps.
fuck?
There at the main race facing against Oju. Up-to-date once again broke his own record, improving by 1.2 seconds and finishing 9 lengths ahead of the 3rd place finisher, finishing 2nd place. Because 2.4 seconds before, Oju was already waiting at the finish line.
Oh, what?
The great up-to-date, the once-in-a-decade
Oh.
talent, no one will see him equal to Oju.
Okay,
If the previous
so-
race was the greatest race, then this race was the greatest performance from the greatest steeplechase horse.
Maybe is, for me, with all due respect to the others that create these types of videos, they're all amazing, by the way. But for me, my own personal choice, Baby is so good at weaving these stories. He's a wordsmith. Oh, I love this guy.
A display so dominant that the Kim himself could not even hear the sounds of the competition behind him. 4:43.0, 3 full seconds faster than the previous
Wow.
record. People who
What
was at
the
race
hell?
say this afterward. I witnessed it. I couldn't believe it. 4:43. It was impossible. But I saw it. I heard it. Everything told me I have witnessed impossible. Last 3 furlong, 36.9, a split you expect to see in flat racing. But this was not a flat race. This was a 4,250 meter
Holy crap! 42.5. Oh my god! The gas tank on this guy.
steeplechase, carrying 63 kilo, ran
What?
with a record that many believe may never be broken. And under everything, he ran 36.9. The margin between him and others, far beyond what words like dominant can describe. 3
Unfair.
consecutive Nakayama
Unfair.
Grand Jump victory. The first
Disgusting.
horse in Japanese
Disgusting.
history to achieve a 3P in the century
Wow.
one. 9 straight graded wins after 17 years. The legendary streak of TM Opera O had finally been surpassed. And in that moment, steeplechasing, once a niche buried at the bottom of the sport, exploded into the mainstream.
Wow,
Jump
that's
racing
good.
had never been this epic, this captivating. Oju Chosan was no longer just a racing star, appearing not in sport headlines,
He's a
but
celebrity.
across general news. And then, when his connection announced his next goal, the entire community erupted.
What?
His goal this year wasn't the Nakayama Daisho guy, but the pinnacle of Japanese flat racing,
Wait.
the Arima Kine.
Oh no.
That was truly shocking.
What?
For the remainder of 2018, Ojo shifted
Wait.
his focus to flat racing to qualify for Arima.
Oh,
so
oh,
his
okay, it's gonna be answered.
team scheduled 2 races, ridden by the legendary Takeyuta.
Oh, shit,
Ojo
really? Oh, of
entered
course
as
it's
the
him.
overwhelming favorite and claimed his first flat
Oh,
victory
really?
in 4 years and 10 months. In doing so, he became the first horse since the founding of JRA in 1950
Look at that.
to achieve a 10 consecutive wins. After the race, his owner called on fans to vote his entry into the Arima. Soon, Oju delivered another win,
Oh.
extending his streak to 11, followed with over 100,000
Wow.
votes, placing him only
But these are probably open, right? Open races? Allowance races, maybe?
behind Derby winner Radiolo and Triple Tiara Almond.
Oh, man.
For the first time, Oju Chosan stepped onto the stage of a flat G1 in the 2018 Arima
That's
Kine.
kinda
He finished
sucks.
9th, but even then, he was less than a second behind the winner and ahead
Oh.
of a former Derby winner. From the depth of obscurity to the grand
Wait, what? Wait. 2018 Arima. Right? I wanna wait. Yeah. Holy crap. And he's one. Oh. Oh, it's Blast One Piece. Radioro, Shovel Grand. Oh my god, Shovel Grand is there still? Satoru Diamond Emperor. Wait, I thought Amunai was supposed to be here. Kisaki is there. Sounds of Earth is last.
This stage, Oju Chosan had already done the impossible. In 2019, although the original plan was to continue flat races, Oju's connection ultimately chose to
Yeah, just go
return
back.
for the first half of
Just
the year.
go back.
And the moment he returned, the king reclaimed his throne. At the Hanshin Sprint Jump, Oju secured yet another victory, extending his jump race streak
10
to
graded
10
wins. Damn.
Then came the Nakayama Grand Jump, when he achieved the unprecedented fourth consecutive victory. Once again, rewriting his own G1
Wow.
record and extending his graded win streak on jump race. In the latter half of the year, Oju returned to flat racing, entering 3 races and losing them all. But at 8 years old, this
Yeah.
shift was simply safer
Yeah,
to
of
avoid
course.
physical risk.
Yeah.
Because of his absence, the title of best steeplechase horse that year was given to someone else.
Oh.
However, by then, titles no longer matter.
Yeah,
to the
it doesn't
greatest
matter.
Champion.
Yeah.
Everyone
He's
knew
still
he'd
king.
already carved his name into history. And if everything before had been about establishing Oju the greatest to be seen, then everything that followed was him building a gap so vast for the future generation.
Damn. Above everything.
By 2020, Oju was 9
9.
years old. He returned once again to the Hanshin Sprint Jump. This race has one special feature, one final obstacle just before the finish line. After
What is
a
it?
long, exhausting race, when both body and mind were pushed to their limit, that last jump was cruel. One stopped countless champions in this track. In fact, the year before, when Oju returned from flat racing, he had nearly stumbled at this very obstacle. This time, the doubts were louder than ever. He was coming off defeat on the flat. His condition was unclear, strong challengers, and simply, he was 9
Yeah.
years old. Arriving at the final jump, 4 horses were running stride by stride, and
Ooh,
then, from
the
that
gray one.
final jump, Oju accelerated
Oh.
away and won by 9 lengths. It's
Look
just
at that.
unbelievable. On the
Look at
replay,
that.
one horse lost balance on
Yeah.
landing. Another stumbled on the foreleg.
Yeah.
Others simply couldn't maintain
He just
momentum.
barreled
And
through.
among
He just-
them, Oju. That absolute control.
Ooh, look
on
at that.
soft
That's
turf,
smooth.
Carrying heavyweight. And just like that, shattered a record that has stood for 2 decades by 9 lengths. Legendary. And yet, what made that moment even more extraordinary was the cheers. Due to the COVID lockdown,
Ah.
when spectators were allowed into the race course, only staff remained. But later, people discovered that fans were watching this race from afar with binoculars. What's
Oh.
more, in a field with no audience came a thunderous roar. Years after, the commentator Okayasu recalled that moment. As Oju crossed the finish line in a racecourse empty of spectators, a thunderous roar erupted, not from the
From the
stand,
outside.
but from the workers themselves.
Oh.
Applause echoed across the entire stadium. For a horse to do that to the people who work
And
at the
he's
track
9.
every week, even look back in history,
Arguably,
it is rare to find
dude,
any like him.
that
Then came
carrying that
another
much?
chapter at the Nakayama Grand Jump.
The
Oju
distance,
stood
the jumps,
unshaken
holy
and
crap.
secured his 5th victory. 5 straight wins in a single G1. Even on a global scale, that achievement is extraordinarily rare. With this victory, Oju claimed his 13th greatest
I
state
wonder
wins,
why they
breaking a
didn't bring
record
him
that has
abroad.
stood for 3 decades.
Like in England.
First
Yeah.
set by Oakley Cap and later matched by TM
TM
All
Pro.
Pro. Some of the
He's in good
greatest men
company
of the
here.
sport. This was
Yep.
also his 7 G1 titles. Although his
Oh.
G1 victory cannot be directly compared to flat racing like Simboli Rudolph. But make no mistake, the difficulty of
Yeah.
achieving 7 championships in steeplechasing is, without doubt, on a different level. For the remainder of 2020,
And
Oju made
there
only
aren't that
one
much,
appearance
right?
at the Kyoto Jump State in November, and this time he finally
Ah.
lost. His unbeaten streak in steeplechase forever stopped at the unimaginable 4 years and 7 months undefeated reign. You want to know how impressive this is? Just take a look at the recent champion. By then, everyone knew
Dude, almost 5 years. How can you do that? Dude, 5 almost. Wow.
The only opponent for this greatest legend was the time itself.
Yeah.
The following year, he returned again to the Nakayama Grand Jump and lost. His historical 5-peat would forever frozen in time. Was this
It's
the
fine.
end of Oju? Fans began to wonder. As age catches up, injuries began to surface.
Is
At
he a
this point,
stallion?
he was twice the age of many of his competitors.
He needs to be a
Everything
stallion,
pointed
dude.
toward an inevitable conclusion. But he returned again and won the Nakayama Daishogai. It was a tearing victory beyond greatness. At that point, Oju was already 10 years
Wow,
old. In human
10.
terms, that's roughly 40 to 45-year-old. An
Ouch.
age where athletes are long past their prime.
Yeah.
And yet he's still at the pinnacle once more. I think this one single sentence defines his greatness in perfection. Oju Chosan defeated time itself,
Damn.
and the greatness would still continue. The following year, his owner made the controversial decision to keep him racing, a choice that worried many fans, given the inherent danger of steeplechasing. But once again, people were reminded what true greatness is like.
Dude, he is going up against horses that can be his kids, and he's still bodying them. Oh, look at that guy. That's another one. Ooh.
6 victories in the same G1 race, 9 JG1 in total, both achievements completely unprecedented. At this point, it was no longer about record, it was about witnessing something that should not have been possible. After safely completing his 2022 season, Oju Chosan finally brought his epic career to a close. As he put an end to his glorious career,
That's
he
insane.
left a resume of most steeplechase graded wins,
Wow.
longest JRA graded winning streak,
Oh.
4 years, 7 months undefeated in jump racing,
Oh.
most JG1 victories, record holder across all JG1
Wow.
categories, most wins in a single G1
Keep it
race,
coming.
highest prize money earned by a jump
Wow.
horse, best jump horse of the year 5
5 times.
oldest horse to win a
JRA graded race.
cover over 135 kilometers, clear nearly 400 obstacles without ever
I am
failing a
having
single
goosebumps right
jump,
now.
and many other records.
Wow.
For anyone to break any one of them would be so difficult.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
when he crossed the finish line for one last time, the undisputed king, the destroyer of field, the legend among legends.
Wow,
No
holy
title
crap.
even cliche to describe his greatness.
Yeah.
He left an almost insurmountable hurdle for all future champions to jump over, earning the
That is such an amazing, beautiful, crafted wordplay, man. Ooh.
nickname, the final obstacle.
Oh,
After this
wow,
video,
really?
If anyone asks you to describe the greatness of him, just tell them he is
Oju
Chosan.
Chosan.
And with the final glory of Stay Gold's children came to its close, my Gold Clan series also comes to an end for now.
For now,
Looking
for now.
back, it all began
Yo, that's the first generation. What about the grandkids? The grandkids, right? We have a lot of grandkids. More to come.
with a horse who refused to run properly.
Uh-huh.
A stubborn soul that sought freedom, witnessed many epic and sorrow, from chaos to brilliance, carrying the gifted name of
Why am I
Golden
getting
Journey and live up to
Why am
it
I getting
in
a bit
every
emotional right
possible
now,
way.
man?
Even pass on his legacy to the future, all painted their own epic in the history of the sport. That is why I call Stay Gold Japan's love letter to this
Wow.
sport. And as much as I want to cover more about them, the truth is, I simply will not be able to cover everyone. There are many of them to come, but there
Yeah.
are simply too many great stories to cover. So this is not an ending, it's simply a pause. I hope for the people who watched
This is
through
this
all
this
the
is
way,
season 1.
you had a great time with all
Yes.
this bizarre, the radiant, the eternal horses.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
want to learn more about my plans, feel free to check the description below. I've also opened channel membership for the first time.
I'm
There's
too broke for
already a
that.
phenomenal video
I am so broke, and I don't want to do this because that's disrespectful to him.
available there. So if you'd like to support my work, joining them would mean a lot. For the
Yeah, please, if you have the capacity, please grab a membership from Maybe. He's an amazing creator, one of the best in this space of this weird I guess, whirlpool of horse racing and Uma Musume / anime, right?
Daigo family, the second generation, had brought its chapter to a close.
Yep.
And the third generation is still stretching far into
Yeah.
the future, waiting for new heroes to carve their name to the pages. One ends, another waits to shine. So too, I shall begin my next journey. Just like the entire Daigo family, it's journey before destination.
That's true. That's true. Man. Is there anything here? Because y'all yell at me like, oh, why did you finish all the way through? Okay, there's nothing. Wow. Wow. Maybe take a bow. You are an amazing, amazing, beautiful person. Holy crap, that was amazing. That is amazing. Imagine having these kids, having these produced by one horse to have their own alcove in history, right? In the sport. That is insane. Wow. I'm speechless. I'm very this is 41 minutes. It's still going. It's still going. I think writing wise, this is the best that he's done. Maybe. I'm not gonna say maybe as in like I don't know. Maybe as in him. Please subscribe to this guy. Unedited, unhinged, unmatched. Oh, okay. Chill out, bro. Chill out. This is for me. For me, this is the best writing so far. And if this is the peak, the sneak peek to the future, and again, it's probably gonna take some time, but I'm more than willing to just wait because he is such an amazing content creator, and these videos take so much time to make. Future plan. Sound off on what you want to know more about. I have some vague ideas of the plan I'm willing to change if there are things people really are interested in. Here's a list that I'm thinking of. Race chronological to continue the Japanese race history by year. This is possible. That's a good idea too. A revisit of Kita-san Black, Sun on Diamond era. So mid 2010s. I have ideas for contests both for casual viewers and paid membership, and Kita-san Black is someone I want to talk about. Yeah. Dude, if that's what you want, do it. Like, do it. You know? I think that's the best answer. If he wants to do Kita-san Black, do Kita-san Black. Hey, if we're gonna go about like analytics and popularity and shit, like Kita-san is very popular still, right? Even though he's like, but it's an Umabai. No, like let's talk. I want him to present the horses too. I don't really want the anime. It's the horses that I want to learn about. Some chill content before the next big series. Yeah, I think he needs to do whatever he wants to do, right? I think maybe he needs to do whatever he wants to do. And look, this guy should be at 20K in a perfect world. Because all of these videos are so good, right? Please subscribe to him. Please join their membership. I can't because I'm still broke. Yeah, I'm not even saying to subscribe to me or like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever the usual shtick that people do to me. I'm just, you know, experiencing other people's videos. So if you're gonna if you're not subscribed to me, subscribe to him. Subscribe to RAC. Subscribe to Pyrex. Subscribe to these guys. You know, subscribe to the JRA channel, right? So that was now I understand why y'all wanted me to watch it as much as you wanted me to. And this series is just insane. These guys are just so insane. And there are some here that I haven't watched yet, which I will watch soon. But these are you have these stories and you have a storyteller as great as he is in terms of just telling it, right? And his wordplay is just beautiful, man. I know that sounds glazy because I am. It's true though, right? And hey, I'm excited for whatever comes next. I do hope it is Kita-san Black and whatever is related around that generation. Chevel, Crown, Diamond, even, right? Sounds of Earth. Is Sounds of Earth? Is Sounds of Earth that? Yeah, Sons of Earth, right? Yeah, Sons of Earth. Right, yeah, this generation. Yeah. Not generation, era. So I'm not gonna make this any longer. That was maybe's Oju Chosan video, and that was a ride. That was a beautiful ride. That made my Doki Doki go Doki Doki, if that makes any sense.